in Chhattisgarh, and both these women faces have contested from Sarguja and won. So, this is obviously the state president, Mr. Arun Sahu, is a very strong candidate as well. Similarly, in Madhya Pradesh, obviously Shivraj Singh Chauhan has a very strong chance because it is his scheme that he has given BJP this big success. That is a view. But there are more OBC face. If the BJP want to go apart from Shivraj Singh Chauhan, move ahead, then maybe Prahlad Singh Patel is a good OBC face. Singh Tomar, Jyotiraditya Scindia, there are multiple faces. Similarly in Rajasthan, Rajyavardhan Singh Rathod, Diya Kumari, Arjun Meghwal, Gajendra Shekhawat, Om Mathur, lots of faces are being spoken about. As I said, we'll be wiser only maybe by Monday on which way the BJP is leaning on.
All right, I'll leave it at that. Aman Sharma, thanks a lot for joining us. We'll just have to wait, and of course, a lot of eyes on who becomes the Chief Minister in these very important states. With that, it's a wrap on Plain Speak. The hard facts up next.
Viewers, TMC firebrand leader Mahua Moitra has been expelled from the Lok Sabha. A report prepared by the Ethics Committee of the Lok Sabha concluded that there was ample evidence to suggest that Moitra bent the rules of the House in exchange for benefits. Apart from expulsion, the report also recommends a criminal probe against Moitra. In the end, it is safe to say that Mahua Moitra has been burned at the stake. But desire as she might, she won't be hailed by history as the Joan of Arc of politics. To have earned that sobriquet, Moitra would have had to be seen to have sacrificed herself for higher principles. Opportunism, while a virtue in politics, isn't a high principle in the grander ethical scheme of things. Many say that blinding ambition got the better of Moitra. Burning with a desire to distinguish herself quickly on the political stage, she made one compromise too many. While it is true that the world expects parliamentarians to be compromised, there's a class of ethical transgressions that's a strict no-no in electoral politics. One of them is that a parliamentarian must never breach the trust a voter places in their representative. In a democracy, a parliamentarian is the voice of the people. The voters expect their MP to ask questions on their behalf or raise their concerns in the cradle of democracy, in Parliament, in the hope that life-altering redressal will follow. Viewers, we all know, however, that Moitra is indicted for supposedly accepting cash and gifts from industrialist Darshan Hiranandani in exchange for providing him access to her Parliament login. Those basic conclusions have landed her in trouble. The businessman allegedly used the access to post questions on Moitra's behalf against the Adani Group and its alleged link to the Prime Minister. This issue arguably mattered more to Moitra as it was allegedly furthering her interests than to her voters. Now viewers, let me quickly take you over the clinchers, the alleged clinchers that ensured that Ms. Moitra was expelled by the Lok Sabha. Let me walk you through. The first clincher, she admitted she gave the login credentials to Hiranandani's office. Typing facilities, she said, from Hiranandani's office were used. It was only restricted to that, but this was seen as a lame or a weak excuse. Mr. Hiranandani, on his part, viewers, admitted that he sought a business advantage by planting these questions. Now viewers, as I told you, a parliamentarian must leave no stone unturned in providing advantage to the voter. The voters expect that. That's the least they expect. But here, viewers, because of this alleged transgression, a businessman at the top of the apex of society, privileged, was gaining benefits, a business advantage. Login credentials were operated from Dubai on 47 occasions, when Ms. Moitra wasn't even there, apparently. Login gave access to draft bills not in the public domain, and therefore viewers could have exposed these bills and their contents and policy tweaks to other players who could have also gained an unfair advantage. Remember viewers, a businessman, if he has advanced knowledge of what a bill might do to a particular sector he's operating in, stands to gain. And if he were to trade that information to others, he would gain even more. I'm not saying that happened, but that's a possibility. And therefore, viewers, this was extremely thought to be transgressive. Breach of NIC protocols by grant of login to unvetted individuals. Now, there is talk, viewers, that MPs usually give their login credentials to members of their secretariat. Now, those people are vetted and they are appointed to jobs. Viewers, after the vote led to her expulsion, Moitra came out and called the entire process a Vastraharan, and the committee that was set up to judge her a kangaroo court. Listen in.
This committee and this report has broken every rule in the book. In essence, you are finding me guilty of breaching a code of ethics that does not exist. The committee is punishing me for engaging in a practice that is routine, accepted and encouraged in the House. Tomorrow the CBI will be sent to my house. I'm sure they will harass me for the next 6 months. But I would like to ask, what about the 13,000 crore coal scam of Mr. Adani that the CBI and the ED have not found place to look at? You tell me I have compromised national security with a login portal? Mr. Adani is buying all our ports, all our airports, and his shareholders are foreign professional investors, and the Ministry of Home Affairs is giving them clearance to buy all our infrastructure. Punjab, Sindh, Gujarat, Maratha, Dravida, Utkala, Bongo. You don't have the Punjab. Sindh is not ours. Dravid is not yours. Utkal is not yours. Bongo is not yours. Where do you think you're going to rule us? Where do you think you get this brute majority from? The Ethics Committee has no power to expel. You have assumed the powers of a quasi-judicial authority and imposed a penalty on me that you have no power to do. You have disregarded due process, proportionality and abused every tenet. This is the beginning of your end. जब नाश मनुष्य पर छाता है तो पहले विवेक मर जाता है. We're going to come back and we're going to see the end of you.
Well, this is not the first time, of course, that Mahua Moitra has railed against the process. If you remember, viewers, when she was questioned or when she was summoned, she walked out of that meeting and said that unfortunate, probing questions unbecoming the dignity of the committee were asked of her that violated also her standing as a woman. But clearly, her demonstration hasn't had the desired impact. The committee has recommended stringent action. Here are some of the damning recommendations. The committee said that she must be expelled from the 17th Lok Sabha. There's already a debate on whether the committee has the power to recommend punishment. The finding is that she indulged in highly objectionable, unethical, heinous and criminal conduct. The recommendation was time-bound institutional probe by the Government of India. The reason this recommendation was made is because of the finding of unethical conduct by allegedly accepting cash, kind and facilities. Viewers. Another recommendation was for a time-bound government probe into quid pro quo charges. Again, based on the allegedly unethical conduct by accepting cash, kind and facilities. Viewers, these are serious charges, and let me tell you that criminal proceedings will perhaps be initiated now against Mahua Moitra that could start and snowball into perhaps even how firm the evidence is. Now the opposition, as you saw, viewers, in those pictures in the center of your screens, is standing behind Mahua resolutely. Here are some reasons the opposition is pushing for why they have decided to stand with her. First and foremost, they claim that no time was given to Mahua Moitra to defend herself. Inadequate time to read 500-page report to frame a defense. The complainants have not been cross-examined. Now remember, there were two complainants. One is a BJP MP who was acting at really the complaint of Mahua Moitra's, in her words, jilted ex, unquote, a lawyer. The ethics panel, the opposition claims, has no power under Rule 316D to recommend expulsion. It says that the BJP's decision to issue a whip ahead of vote a travesty of justice because it denies parliamentarians the right to apply their own conscience and take a call on a fellow parliamentarian's future in the House. The opposition also says that Article 1052 shields MPs from prosecution on bribery charges or any speech or vote in Parliament. This has been used in the past, but in one particular case, viewers, the JMM bribery case, if you remember, this was waved aside. Now let us get to our big debate. As the India bloc backs Mahua, is it putting the interests of a political grouping above the Desh or nation? Fundamental question, and it goes out to two individuals, viewers. Viewers, this is of course an ongoing story, and we are going to now speak to two individuals who were on this ethics panel. One is a Congress Member of Parliament, Mr. V. Vaithalingam, and the other one is Aparajita Sarangi, who was also today speaking in the House. She is, of course, an MP from the Bharatiya Janata Party. Mr. Vaithalingam, thank you. And also, Ms. Sarangi, thank you for speaking to CNN News 18. I want to begin by asking, why is the Congress Party standing with Mahua Moitra, even though A, she doesn't belong to your party, and B, she has been indicted by a report formulated after deliberations for having betrayed the national interest, sir?
Do I need to speak?
No, Mr. Vaithalingam, you go first. Why is the Congress Party standing with Mahua Moitra?
Actually, you can see the new parliament wanted to start a women reservation bill. The Honorable Prime Minister giving the assurance for the women folk for 1/3 of the reservation for the women folk in the parliamentary system and the assembly system also. That is, they are giving the Nari Shakti. So, at the same time, they want to curtail the Nari Shakti by disqualifying or removing from the parliament Mahua Moitra. That is the main issue. And another thing, we are totally for injustice, those who are having that. If any injustice taken place, we are raising our voice. This is a Congress culture. That is why we are supporting her.
Ms. Sarangi, how do you respond to this? How do you respond to this? Nari Shakti is being curbed and curtailed by your government, says Mr. Vaithalingam, and also there is an injustice being perpetrated. He's making it more rhetorical. What are the facts with which you can counter him?
See, let's refrain from making the entire issue political. There is no politics around it. Now also, let us not talk in terms of man or woman. She was a parliamentarian. She was a member of the Lok Sabha as I am. I am a woman. I am also a parliamentarian. As a parliamentarian, I am supposed to go by the parliamentary procedures. There has to be a conduct which is ethical. And you know, I cannot behave in a manner which is unbecoming of a parliamentarian. So she has demonstrated unethical conduct. She went against the parliamentary procedures, and therefore this kind of situation happened. Now, I am a member of the Parliamentary Standing Committee, and so is my friend from the Congress who is with us today. Now, there were 3 sittings. The complainants had been invited. The complainants were heard at length, Mr. Dheeraj and Mr. Nishikant Dubeji, and thereafter Madam Mahua Moitra had been invited. She was given opportunity of being heard. In fact, for full 1 hour, she spoke about her personal life. And it was our responsibility as a member of the committee or members of the committee to hear her out. And we did so with tremendous patience. And the chairman also kept on asking questions. She refused to answer many of the questions. I must say with all conviction at my command that all the questions pertain to the content of the affidavit which was sworn, a sworn affidavit, sworn before the Deputy Consulate General in Dubai. Now here, she was so much, she suddenly grew angry, she was fuming and fretting, and she staged a walkout, using unparliamentary words for the chairman of the committee. I think that particular day, if she would have stayed back, if she would have stated her things in a cool manner, whatever she wanted to say would have been registered properly. She had no patience to do that. And thereafter, we went through the affidavit and we submitted our report. And today, I must say, Honorable Speaker, following due procedure, allowed everyone to put forth his or her viewpoints. And that is why, ultimately at the end, 2 members of the committee, Girdhari Yadav ji and I, was asked to speak, and we spoke out our mind. And I think the law has to take its course. Whatever was wrong, which is unethical is unethical. And let me say, whosoever is standing by Mahua Moitra ji today is not actually supporting her. They are demonstrating their own unethical conduct. They are standing by what is unethical.
Okay, Mr. Vaithalingam, let me ask you this. This is a factual question. You're a member of parliament from the Congress. Your own fellow colleague, member of parliament, Praneeth Kaur, she also came out and voted against Miss Mahua Moitra. Now,
actually,
that is why this report was adopted by the narrowest margin. Now, why would she have done this if this was about perhaps denigrating women?
Actually, I want to explain in such a way. On that day, the last day of the proceedings, when the voting is taken place, before that, the chairman tell us that after the inquiry is over, after the investigation is over, then we can sit together and discuss about all the points, then we can take a final decision. But unfortunately, chairman is not hearing us. Even the Mahua Moitra case, we are not allowed to question the Mahua Moitra. Chairman only asking all the questions. So 1 hour time, only chairman is taking the full time. We are not allowed. Even Sarangi also not allowed. So no member raising their questions against the Mahua Moitra. That is the situation is taken place. Even the last day, before, when the chairman is initially give a promise that after the proceedings is over, then we can sit with all the members, then we can finalize our report. But unfortunately, it is not taken place. When the last day meeting, it is only 2 minutes. When the chairman is entered in the house room and started with the proceedings, they put up a resolution and voted for it. They are not listening our voice.
Okay,
that is the major question. Why they are rushing to it?
So you're saying due procedure was not followed?
One point. One point. Another point, you know that Pritam Gaur, how she is behaving. Even she is not a Congress member. Even though technically he belongs to Congress party, already he is reviving because of local conditions. When I asked her, so much of pressure on me, what I can do? That is, what is the pressure? You can only ask the lady. Then only she can explain what is the pressure. So actually the member is voted because of the pressure. And another one, I want to explain. Even it is equal. The chairman says, chairman having 2 votes. One as a member and chairman have the another member. So one member having the 2 votes. So what is the meaning?
No, but Mr. Vaithalingam, I don't understand this. You're now claiming that Praneeth Kaur was under pressure. Why didn't you come out with this earlier? No, why didn't you come out with this earlier?
Already I told. Actually on the day, the last day of the meeting, I explained she is under the pressure.
This is the first time I'm
The
hearing
same
this.
day he gave a
Aparajita
press
Sarangi,
statement.
let me ask you.
No.
The charge that is being made by Mr. Vaithalingam is that Mahua Moitra was denied, and this is the basis of jurisprudence, was denied an opportunity to clear her own name, to testify. And neither were the complainants cross-examined.
See, there were 3 sittings, as I said. In fact, one full sitting was devoted to listening to Mahua Moitra ji. I must say this. And we gave her the opportunity of being heard. She spoke for 1 hour initially about herself, about her life, which was which was good. And we noted down all the points. And thereafter, when the questions were asked pertaining to the content of the affidavit, she lost her cool. And she was so impatient that she decided not to stay within the walls of the room in which all of us were sitting. So she staged a walkout, and she used unparliamentary words for the chairman of the committee. Now again, there was unethical conduct, not becoming of a parliamentarian. Whatever she did was unbecoming of a parliamentarian. So, we cannot support something which is unethical, which is unparliamentary in nature, and that is what we had been harping on all through. And the committee went for voting 3 times, I must say this, 3 times. And every time the majority, in fact, did not support her, when the majority went against her. So I think everything was looked into, the procedures were followed, all people were heard, the affidavit was gone through, the sworn affidavit was read, and then thereafter the reports were sent, and the report was debated upon in the Lok Sabha today, and then the Lok Sabha decided to expel Mahua Moitra for the rest of the term. That's it.
Okay, very quickly, Mr. Vaithalingam, it's funny that you should say that this was a bit of a witch hunt, because you see, Mahua Moitra has accepted that she shared her login with a businessman. She doesn't deny that he framed questions on her behalf on her portal. And 3, that
Actually,
she also,
I want
that
to
she also,
clarify.
no, one second, sir, that she
I
also,
please, sir, please.
that she also,
I want to clarify.
Yeah, you want to
She
clarify.
is not sharing the ID for the businessman. She is using their office to put a questions. And there is no bar.
But Mr.
There is
Vaithalingam,
no rules in the
you can't
parliamentary
give
system.
your ID to a
tell
third
me.
party who is not part of either your secretariat. And if she was using his office, excuse me, sir, how is it that when her login was used, she was nowhere near the vicinity of that location? She was in another continent.
You can
not
see,
once, but several times.
You can. No, you can see when you log in, there is a password is there, OTP is there. When the OTP is given by the concerned party, it is agreed that she is putting a question, not other person is putting their question. That is the basic
sir,
question.
small correction,
the
Mr.
major allegation is
Small correction.
Yeah.
You really, I just
No,
want
no
to say
correction. I
that
want
the
to
report
explain. I will
submitted
explain the
by.
situation.
Okay, please go ahead.
You say I can explain the case. Then you can put a question. Instead of sharing the ID and password, that is a different. It is using their office to put a questions. Using the office is totally different. And sharing the ID and password is totally different. Because you can see, if I give a password and user ID and password to somebody, they are putting their own question is totally different. It's the fault. If I share my details and put a questions on my willingness, it is okay.
I don't know, sir. I've never heard of this arrangement. I've never heard of somebody accepting gifts and then that person. So even you're agreeing that happened. Okay, one second. Aparajita Sarangi, let me throw this back at you. This is an important point. Mahua Moitra hasn't really denied any of the charges. She has also flaunted some of the gifts that she got from this businessman, apparently before all of you in that committee hearing. She's also brought them to Parliament, etc., and said, what is wrong? I'm a woman of means. What difference does it make? How do you make this correlation? Mr. Vaithalingam is saying, look, she was just using the office premises. A quick response to that.
So I can only say that we have examined the matter and we have suggested a couple of things to the Lok Sabha, which all the proposals were accepted. One, of course, was the expulsion, and number two was the cash trail, the money trail, the exchange of gifts, etc., should be looked into by an appropriate agency to be decided by the central government. So I think the government of India would decide upon the investigating agency and they would actually look into the trail of money. So I think I am not the person to comment on that. As a member of the committee, as a colleague of hers, I should not be commenting on that. Let the investigative agency decide and let the investigative agency submit its findings before the government of India.
So this is going to get more trying and difficult for Mahua Moitra. What we are being told now, viewers, is that this particular report recommends that a probe should be conducted to determine criminality. And if that does somehow materialize, this is going to end up in criminal charges. This could get mighty serious. Mighty serious indeed, viewers. There is more mighty serious stuff tonight. Look at your screens. Look at your screens carefully. Have a look at what that is. That is money, cash. Dirty, stinky cash. Have you ever seen this much money in your lives? It's obscene. It is absolutely obscene, viewers. This is 200 crores stacked in almirahs. Look at it. Now we at least know how much space 200 crores takes up. This individual has done you the favor. If you ever have 200 crores, you will know that I need about 3 almirahs in a room about 10 feet by 12 feet, a vault, so to speak. This is how much space 200 crores takes up. It's almost like a small room. Many people live in a room this big, viewers. It is fascinating and revolting at the same time. It's fascinating because it makes you want to understand the psychology of individuals such as these. And it is revolting because you can't understand how, as a public servant, someone could be so brazen to loot the Aam Aadmi. I just want to focus on that cash. I have never seen something more, as I told you, viewers, unappetizing. What was the hoarder of this stash thinking? What would he have done with it? How much is too much? Did he think he was going to tie it all up and take it with him to heaven or to hell or wherever he wants, or he's going to end up? I don't know. I can almost smell, viewers, the fetid stench of ill-gotten wealth from here, sitting in this studio hundreds of miles away from this vault of corruption. This den, viewers, of lucre, filthy lucre. Apparently, this money is linked to a Congress member of Parliament. Let me spill out the facts for you, at least those that have been provided by the IT. I'm not taking any responsibility for them, but this is what has come out. Therefore, I'm not calling them the hard facts. These are the facts. They'll be tested in court. And I hope, viewers, that the IT is right, because an individual like this needs to be put away for hundreds of years. The impunity, viewers, the impunity. The IT raids on both the distillers for alleged tax evasion took place. Now, this distilleries is linked to a Congress MP called Dheeraj Sahu. The cash seized from the offices and residence is apparently allegedly linked to Sahu. 200 crores seized over 2 days across 7 locations in 2 states. Cash found in multiple almirahs. 157 bags were needed to move it. 30 officers and bank staff involved in counting the seized cash. 157 bags were needed by authorities to transport the cash. We are being told that it has taken days to count this money, even with counting machines. There simply weren't enough. The eye-popping haul has even prompted the Prime Minister to tweet. And in his new hip style, he's taken a dig at all those who give lectures on the ills of corruption, going about blaming others but don't practice what they preach. He's also said that he's going to ensure that every penny is handed back to the public from who it was siphoned. He says that this is his guarantee, Modi guarantee. This is what he said. The countrymen should look at the pile of these notes and then listen to the honest speeches of their leaders. Whatever has been looted from the public, every penny will have to be returned, and this is Modi's guarantee. The haul has been tracked by the income tax department. I'm sure soon the ED will get into it. Yes, the agencies that are often reviled primarily by the Congress in the opposition on the ground that it is acting at the behest of the NDA and it is vengeful. But when the money, viewers, is allegedly recovered from the vaults of the Congress's own MP, can the party continue to villainize the agencies? Let's open this up, viewers. Let's open this up, and I want to begin first by bringing in Shehzad Poonawalla, the national spokesperson of the BJP, and also Lokesh Jindal, who's representing the Congress point of view. Ishkaran Bhandari is also here with us, viewers. We have a good panel tonight, thankfully. And let me begin with Mr. Jindal first. Very short question. When money is tumbling, sir, out of the opposition cupboards, these are not skeletons, this is cash. It's a different kind of skeleton. Then is it fair to say that your claims, that the opposition claims that the ED, the IT, the CBI are driven by vendetta? Viewers, let me ask you, Lokesh Jindal, and let me ask you on the viewers' behalf. Can you still play the victim card shamelessly in the face of what is coming out of these cupboards?
Rahul, we are missing the point here.
Oh.
See,
what is
there
that
has
point?
been a tax evasion, and it was done by a private limited company, a corporate entity. This government has failed miserably in bringing about reforms. I am asking the government, what about the responsibility of the auditors? What about the corporate affairs? Why is it that such a form of a scam happens and the government doesn't have any form of a legal mechanism to check such practices happening? Now, this entire cash that has been piled up is via evasion. It is not on any political grounds that you are claiming. In Odisha, we do not have Congress government where this particular unit is located.
I cannot believe this.
Now, you cannot say
Sir, are
that
you,
in
hang
a
on,
Congress
1 minute.
state,
Look at Jindal,
Congress
just 1 second. Before I bring in Shehzad Poonawalla, I want to ask you a quick counter question. Forget about where this money is going or where it's coming. It's been found. Now, I want to ask you, say, oh, because the government has failed to crack down, it has warped tax policies, it hasn't reformed the tax system, this, that, the other. I want to ask you, how much money do you have in your cupboards which is unaccounted, Lokesh Jindal? Do you have any money?
Absolutely not.
I also don't. We all live under the same government. In case you've forgotten, unless you live in Pakistan, I don't know. But the point is, viewers, if someone is corrupt, they will be corrupt. It's an instinct. It doesn't matter whether there are reforms or not. Others are not corrupt, I am not corrupt, you are not corrupt, but this gentleman, if it is true, is corrupt and he must be sent away. And you can't be sitting here and telling me that Modi has not been able to crack down on corruption. What is he supposed to do? Go from house to house and say, bhai, apne almari kholo?
He can hold the auditors responsible and liable in the court of law when such a form of an event happens.
Shehzad Poonawalla, you are not doing your job. You see, you are not going into every company. You are not auditing properly. You have not reformed the system. You are therefore creating the conditions for corruption.
Rahul, your first debate was cash for query and now it is cash ki almari. Imagine it took 156 bags to pack up all this cash, and imagine if one MP has about 200 crores. Imagine what 52 MPs of Congress have. See, Congress means ghotale ki guarantee, and Modi ji was saying this during state assembly elections. You remember, Rahul, we did debates when we said in Rajasthan they are doing ghotale ki guarantee. In Chhattisgarh, even Mahadev's name was not spared, and there also it was ghotale ki guarantee. Now Jharkhand is the only one of the last ATMs left for the Congress, and therefore in Jharkhand whether it's Manrega Ghotala, whether it's Koila Ghotala, whether it's Sharab Ghotala, whether it's Rural Development Fund Ghotala, whether it's Land Ghotala, whether it's the mining Ghotala in which the Chief Minister is involved. Congress means Ghotala, Ghotala, Ghotala. INC has now become I need cash. And today, you know what their slogan is, Rahul? हम करेंगे भ्रष्टाचार, भ्रष्टाचार मेरा अधिकार, कोई पकड़ेगा तो चिल्लाएंगे अत्याचार, अत्याचार, खेलेंगे victimhood card. Today, Lokesh Jindal must tell us that when money is found and there is evidence of the cash, in Mahua Moitra's case they were saying cash ka trail nahi hai, cash ka trail nahi hai. Here to cash has been found, room full of cash. Why hasn't this MP been sacked? This means that some of this money or many of it must be going to Sonia Gandhi, must be going to Rahul Gandhi. Why else are Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi not sacking this man?
Rahul, please moderate this.
Okay,
No,
one second.
Shehzad-
1 second. You can respond. You can respond. You can say that you're making a
Shehzad,
false charge about linking the Gandhis. But I want to also make one point, viewers. And you know, Dr. Raman, I don't know if you were there at that time on the channel or on that channel that I was watching, viewers. But you know, there is a very senior anchor. He's quite a senior anchor. And I was quite surprised when I heard that anchor say, and this is the extent now to which, viewers, this discourse has been normalized. Oh, that, you know, the Congress can take heart from the fact that they're in Telangana. Telangana is, you see, a rich state. The implication being that the Congress now has a rich state to finance their campaign. And this is being spewed, viewers, on national TV. As if it is an accomplishment. Diverting funds to fund your own campaigns from the public exchequer is now a virtue, viewers. अरे इतने rich state में सरकार बना ली तो ये तो अच्छा है. This is good. Why? Because now the Congress has the legs to fund its next election. Can you believe it, viewers? This is what we've come down to in this country. And these are responsible, supposedly responsible, mainstream senior journalists sitting there and spewing this bunkum. I cannot believe what we have reduced ourselves to. And I don't know if Dr. Raman, you shared, I think you might be one of those who shared that point. I don't remember, I may be wrong completely. Please forgive me if you said something like that. Please, if I misheard. But someone did. Were you there that night? You were there. Remember when someone said, when made that point? They said that, you know, now they've won in Telangana, it's a rich state.
Rahul,
yes, sir.
no, I wasn't
No,
there,
I think
but,
Shehzad is
let
showing me
let
if someone is.
Yeah.
Are you holding something up, Shehzad? You were holding something up. Was it, who said this?
No, this is a person who's very close to Rahul Gandhi. He was with Rahul Gandhi in so-called Bharat Jodo. Actually, it was cash Jodo. It was perhaps corruption Jodo. So today Rahul Gandhi must answer. Why is he not taking action on this person?
Okay, Dr. Samansi Raman, you know the Congress constantly accuses Modi of corruption. There is this slogan called Modani, Modani, Modani. Rahul Gandhi constantly repeats it like a shibboleth. I want to ask you, when money is pouring out of your own MP's cupboards allegedly, I'm still using that word allegedly as I will still suspend belief for a few moments for your sake. But when it is pouring out, what with more moral authority can you make such a allegation against the government?
Absolutely, Rahul. You see, there is all the opposition parties run their election campaigns using cash. The BJP runs its election campaign using love and fresh air, nothing else. They don't require any money. They don't collect money from anybody. According to the electoral bond data which was released, nearly 3/4 of it is going to the BJP. So somebody is funding them, right? So let's be very, very clear on this. This man, whoever this Sahu is, caught with this.
No,
kind
but
of
Dr.
cash,
Raman, I think
must
Iskaran
answer-
Bhandari will ask you a
must
counter
answer.
question. Is it true that law and order is a state subject? Yes or no? Just tell me. Yes or no?
Law and order is a state
Is
subject.
a state
I don't
subject.
have
Now
any
tell
doubt
me
about
that
Yes.
means that you have the CID, you have your local units that can catch corruption. If the BJP is corrupt, how is it that in opposition ruled states, no state government, barring the odd occasional once in a while, report comes out of some chap from the BJP caught with a hand in the till?
Forget opposition government. You remember that Lokayukta raid in Karnataka, where there were stackfuls of cash. The name of that BJP former MLA, I don't get it right away. But you remember that. There was loads and loads of cash. It was perhaps not to this extent.
You know where that
but it was,
person is
you
right
know,
now? Okay,
where
Shehzad
he is
Poonawala
right
wants to
now.
respond. Okay,
No, no, the
so
point
you're
is
saying
he was a BJP MLA.
I'm
he
very
was a
glad.
BJP MLA. Okay,
I'm
Shahzad
very
Poonawala.
glad Raman has brought this up.
Yeah.
I'm very glad Mr. Raman has brought this up. It was at the son of that MLA Virupakshappa's, Virupakshappa was the MLA, his son was raided by the same Lokayukta police under our domain at that time, and he was sent to jail. Virupakshappa was denied a ticket, he was also sent to jail, he subsequently got bail from court. Now I ask, why is Rahul Gandhi not sending him to jail? Why isn't he sacking this man?
But
Why
how
is
can Rahul Gandhi sack
him?
him when in an
Did
income
not
tax
give him a
case?
ticket?
No, hang on. How can Shahzad, please, you're not applying
Income tax
logic.
case.
No, in an income tax case, Shahzad, Rahul Gandhi is out on bail himself. Ishkaran Bhandari will tell you all about it. So how can he, with what face can he tell this gentleman?
No, one.
I mean, come on.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, you stand corrected. See, I always
stand
bring out the
corrected.
hard fact. It never wilts, my fact. My fact never wilts under public scrutiny. Never. I always have the hard fact. Ishkaran Bhandari, you tell me, has the Rahul Gandhi Congress lost the moral high ground on corruption tonight after these pictures? I've never seen something like this.
Rahul, I agree with you in entirety except one point. Have they lost the moral high ground? When did they have it? Let's see with one fact, because now we are having a strenuous defense of how cash is needed to win elections. Firstly, if somebody gives money in a legitimate legal means to a political party, that's entirely different from having cash in the lockup. A. B aspect, do you remember the era when we used to have ministries called ATM ministries, anytime ministries, which has gone out of the vocabulary now because there were specific political parties who were given specific plum ministries, and it was called a collation compulsion that these ministries have to be given to them, and then they would raise money out of it, and then that would embed the corruption, and that has been gone through 10 years. Now we do not hear that word, but what we hear now today is a strenuous defense of cash. We saw what happened to the education minister, if I recall correctly, of West Bengal, whose close female friend had 50 crores or something and bricks of gold coming out. Now this gentleman, a 3-time member of parliament, has this amount of cash coming out. And what is the difference? What is the defense? They blame the ED. One data which needs to be done. ED was there in Congress also. It did provisional attachment of only 5,000 crores in 10 years. Whereas now it is 1 lakh crores. So you have done 1 lakh crore, but what do you do if there are state governments which allow certain people to operate with immunity, and when you catch them, they blame the ED or the IT, and then there is a bald-faced justification by intellectuals that it is needed for winning elections, and they encourage it. This is the vicious cycle you are fighting, where on media it's defended that you need to win rich states, so you fund election. Modi is so bad, do corruption, get cash, just get him out. Whereas you compare it with legitimate means of so just in the end I will say only this.
Okay, I think Shahzad. Okay, one second, Dr. Raman, I'll come back to you. I'll ask you a question. No one is denying. Money is in politics, viewers. There is no denying of that. No one is denying it. It depends on how you accumulate that money, what you do it with. You declare it or not, or you stuff it into your cupboards and under your mattresses. 1 second.
Do you remember a certain gentleman called Mr. Vijay Mallya, who became a Rajya Sabha MP, JDS? Who supported him? Please ask Mr. Shahzad Poonawala.
Mr. Poonawala,
Vijay Mallya,
you want to make a point, you can also rebut. Yes.
Who helped him become a member of parliament in the Rajya Sabha.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Raman, do you remember who Vijay Mallya thanked in his letters for the loans that he was given, which he then swindled off? Mr. Chidambaram and Mr. Manmohan Singh sat in the airplane and said, "It is my duty to save Kingfisher Airlines." Never before has a Prime Minister batted for a corporate. Don't interrupt, Raman. Mr. Raman, don't interrupt. You have a very bad habit. Don't interrupt me. Nowhere in the history of India's Prime Ministership I've heard a corporate entity being defended by a Prime Minister while he's coming back from abroad. Manmohan Singh did that. In fact, today the recovery of the ED in the Mallya case is over 90%. Anyway, leave that as it may. Leave that as it may. Mr. Shishir, if they stop interrupting, I can finish quicker.
Okay, you can ask that question, but if you allow him to respond, sir. Yeah. Yes, go ahead. Shahzad, make your point. Finish it. Yeah.
Rahul, I just want to lean on your special skills of finding the hard facts to figure whether it's a fact that the Aam Aadmi Party has spoken about this, because they're allies of the Congress and Aam Aadmi Party's birth was against corruption. So can you please decipher the hard facts and tell me if the Aam Aadmi Party has tweeted anything on this? Forget asking for anybody's arrest or resignation. The Aam Aadmi Party and these parties All of them have allegations of corruption, and this is what the India Alliance brings. Lalu Prasad Yadav, convicted corrupt. TMC, corruption in SSC scam. Congress, corruption from 1947 onwards. And now you have other parties like the Aam Aadmi Party who have also indulged in Sharab Ghotala. So they have no courage or moral compunction to even come out and take a stand on this. These are the people who talk about honesty and integrity in politics.
Lokesh Jindal, now I have to come to you. Let me take off from what Shehzad has said. You know, you often said that optics set perceptions. And you have said that, oh, you know, this government doesn't give tickets, for example, to Muslims or doesn't give them posts, etc. So therefore it is communal. So optics set perceptions. Now, how does this not apply to you? The optics are there. There is a supposed Congress MP who has allegedly stashed all this. That's optically very damning. So the perception then is that the Congress, as Shehzad Poonawalla says, is INC, I need cash. That's what he says. That's the perception. If visuals, if optics determine perceptions, then how can you argue against your own point here?
Rahul, there's this Baldev Sahu group of companies which were into wine making business since last 40 years. And this company has evaded taxes and led to accumulation of such a large amount of cash. This is a case of tax evasion. Now, nowhere has the IT claimed that the source of this money was illegal or the source of the money was from criminal conduct or something like that. And the Prime Minister's attempt to give it a political color is something that surprises me, because it is not that this money was collected from some political gratification or some form of a
were you there?
Remuneration.
You know so much. Were you employed with this company?
That's why it was being carried out by the IT department. Let the IT department.
Now, hang on. I have the IT department statement. I have the IT department statement. Okay. So, Lokesh Jindal, you're wrong. And I want to bring in Ishkaran as well as Shehzad and Dr. Raman. Now, separate teams of income tax sleuths carried out simultaneous raids at different locations for second day. The raids conducted Bolangir, Baudh, Sambalpur, Bhubaneswar, Sundargarh district over alleged tax evasion. As per information, IT officials seized cash rupees 200 crores during the raid, which are still underway. So this is ill-gotten wealth. Yes, Ishkaran Bhandari, you want to make a point.
Rahul, the confidence by which fake facts are spewed is astounding. Firstly, it's an ongoing investigation. So how can anybody give a clean sheet? It's only a tax evasion case, or there is a money laundering case, or this is illicit price, or was liquor which was being served, not being served. Those are all criminal cases. Was spurious liquor being served in the bottles? There are so many aspects to this which are ongoing investigation. To give a clean sheet at this stage defies belief, but it can only be done because you are justifying use of cash in politics. Second aspect, how do you say that this is not going to be used in politics? These 5 state elections had record cash hauls. So again, to give a clean sheet, it's the same thing they did in National Herald. It's only a tax dispute. It's only a Section 8 company, whereas a trial is going on, whereas Supreme Court does not give you relief. So stop trying to give clean sheets in ongoing investigations. After 200 crores have been found, at least that day have some amount of self-respect not to come up with these arguments.
Not to come up with these arguments, Dr. Raman, have the self-respect. Let's at least call it out without whataboutery tonight, Dr. Raman.
No, Rahul, there is no whataboutery here.
Oh.
Whatever action, due process of law must be followed, and the income tax department, no doubt, will register a case, and they will do whatever is necessary.
Why is an MP? Why is an MP of the Congress stashing all this money? He certainly, we've got evidence in the past of one particular key aide of Rahul Gandhi in the state of Karnataka collecting money, and there are all sorts of, diary entries and AICC written there, all of that. How do we know this is not going up the value chain? I'm just asking. It's a fundamental question. I'm not implying anything.
Speaking of diary entries, do you remember the Jain diaries, Rahul? What they had written in them, and
do you know what happened to the Jain Hawala case, sir? Do you know that a man called L.K. Advani said till my name is cleared, I'm not going to be part of the political process, active political process. Only when he was cleared did he come back. You know this, right?
But what was there? What did the court say?
It was corrupt. There was corruption. There was
No, what did
corruption.
the court say? Court said entries written in diaries cannot be constituted.
Sir, now we are okay. So that's the plea we are taking. That's the plea. Then why did why did Mr. Bhushan, one of your dear friends, Mr. Prashant Bhushan, go to court with a whole bunch of Sahara diaries? Why did he do it?
Yes, he did.
No,
Yes,
why did he do
happened
it?
at the end of it?
Why did you selectively want to use excuses, sir? I can also pull out excuses.
What happened at the end of
No,
it?
I don't care. Why did he do it? Why did he do it? I can ask you that question. See, sir, I know my history. I know my political history. I come very prepared. You can't cherry pick one and say, oh, Jain diaries, they said you can't use diaries as evidence. Then in another case, the same gentlemen or another bunch of gentlemen who are really supposed to be the legal institutions run to the court with a whole bunch of other diaries.
No,
क्या बात करते हो sir?
saying
Just
it.
because
Supreme
in that
Court said
diary,
it.
viewers,
Supreme
Modi's
Court
name
said
came
it.
in.
I am not saying it.
Let's be
Supreme Court
honest.
said it.
Let's be honest. Don't apply
Supreme Court
yardsticks selectively, sir. Please, don't quote the
You
court
are the one who's
selectively.
applying it
I'm not. I'm
selectively.
only asking you.
You are saying there are diary entries here. I am saying there are
I am
diary
talking
entries.
about
Supreme Court
optics.
said diary entries cannot be as evidence.
Okay.
Optics, yes.
So
obviously
on a
it will look bad.
technicality, we throw the baby out with the
It's not a
bathwater.
technicality.
Fine,
Not
sir.
a technicality. You
I
brought
don't
the
know, sir.
diary
I
entries up. I didn't
certainly
bring it.
I can
didn't
see
bring
those
it.
visuals. Anyhow, Shehzad Poonawalla wants to respond to you. Okay, fair enough.
But why are we debating diary entries? This is hardcore bag, in fact, room full of cash that has been discovered, and the person who's the accused here is not responding. He is not available now. If there's nothing to hide, if this was just about an income tax issue, then why is he not available for further inquiries? And therefore the onus is on his political party. I remember Mr. Raman. You remember, Rahul, how Mr. Raman used to shout, Lok Ayukta has raided the BJP MLA's son. What action will BJP took? BJP denied the person the ticket and the son went to jail. Why is Congress party not taking the stand that we will remove this man from the parliament? Because
how old is this raid? How long did it take for BJP to take action?
Cut ऊपर
How
जाता
long
है.
did it take?
So are you assuring tomorrow it will be done?
How
Are you
long?
assuring
I don't
tomorrow
know.
it will be done?
They have.
You are sure tomorrow it will be done. 7 o'clock we will have a discussion.
There will be a show cause notice. Which
Acha,
will be
show
issued
cause
to him
notice will
after
have to be
that.
given.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like they
obviously
gave
you
Sonia
can't
Gandhi
condemn.
for National Herald.
Like we
Congress
can't-
gave National Herald show cause notice to Sonia Gandhi.
You can't.
No, what show cause notice given to Sonia Gandhi?
So I'm asking a more fundamental
without
question.
hearing her side of the story, it
Okay.
can't be done.
Between
everybody
Shehzad
acts like
Poonawalla and Lokesh Jindal, more fundamental question. Now, Mr. Jindal, in Bengal, ministers were found with money. They were completely disowned by the TMC. They are still in jail. This shows that even the courts are now not convinced that the agencies are playing truant. So, how long will you constantly go on and on and on and on, rubbishing, villainizing agencies and not looking within? Mr. Jindal.
See, Rahul, there are certain aspects we need to consider. The raid was not carried out by CBI. That
It was
there
the
was
IT.
some form of political misconduct. The raid was carried out by IT. It clearly shows that there was tax evasion of some form. Now, what the source of the money was from the company and its operations. The cash was stashed up. It is for the IT to determine.
Okay, so
where
there is
was the
no
tax evaded and it
political
shall
fallout
figure out
of this.
what shall be the
Shehzad
fine
Poonawalla,
imposed.
that's what he's saying. Bichara, kisi ne tax
So,
evade
over
kar diya,
here
he'll be
there is
dealt with
no-
under the law, but we have nothing to do with it. It doesn't rub off on our party at all.
It's
Shehzad
very
Poonawalla,
different
respond.
from what's there in West Bengal. In West Bengal, it was the CBI that was
probably
carrying out the
doesn't know.
investigation. So if at all there is a political misconduct.
Lokesh, stop interrupting, boss. Lokesh probably
Yeah,
doesn't
you
know
are
that this
interrupting me. I
person
didn't
has
know that you
interest in
have
the
to.
liquor business. This person has interest in the liquor business across Odisha, Jharkhand, etc. And in Jharkhand, there's already an ongoing liquor scam, which has been exposed by the BJP.
Well-
so how are you giving him a clean chit?
Well, viewers,
and therefore
let
the
me tell
fundamental
you-
question is, when
Nobody
will
is
you
giving
act
him
on
a
this
clean
person?
chit.
I'll tell you, I have to close the show, but I have to tell you this, viewers. These are shocking pictures. I have not seen something like this in a very, very long time. We'll take a very short break. We'll be right back.
Hello, Moto.
Co-powered by
investigation
of the unethical conduct of Shri Mahua Moitra, MP, laid on the table of the House on 8th December 2023. एक मिनट सबको. Okay.
We don't have the copy of the motion. We don't have the supplementary question.
माननीय सदस्यगण, आज जिस विषय पर विचार किया जा रहा है वो विचार और प्रस्ताव जो माननीय संसदीय कार्य मंत्री ने रखा है वो हम सबके लिए पीड़ादायक भी है, लेकिन कई बार ऐसे अवसर आते हैं जब इस सभा को अपने प्रति, राष्ट्र के प्रति अपने कर्तव्यों के निर्वहन के लिए उचित निर्णय लेने होते हैं। माननीय सदस्यगण, संसदीय लोकतंत्र नियमों, उच्च मर्यादाओं से चलता है। ये सदन हमारे देश की सर्वोच्च पीठ है। पिछले 75 वर्षों की हमारी लोकतांत्रिक यात्रा में हमारे सदन की, हमारे लोकतंत्र की एक ऊंची मर्यादा स्थापित हुई है। पूरा देश उच्च संसदीय परंपराओं के लिए हमारी ओर देखता है। इन्हीं उच्च परंपराओं की बदौलत हमारे लोकतंत्र की पूरे विश्व में एक विशिष्ट पहचान है। माननीय सदस्यगण, पिछले 75 वर्षों की गौरवशाली यात्रा में हमारा लोकतंत्र निरंतर सशक्त और परिपक्व हुआ है। जनता के बीच हमारी विशिष्टता लगातार बढ़ी है। जनता ने हमें इसलिए चुनकर भेजा है कि हम सदन में बैठकर उनके विकास के लिए, उनकी कल्याण के लिए, उनकी आशाओं के लिए, उनकी आकांक्षाओं को इस सदन में बैठकर पूरा कर सकें। लेकिन हमारे लोकतंत्र की इस गौरवशाली यात्रा में समय समय पर हमारे ऐसे अवसर भी आए हैं जब हमने इस सदन की गरिमा और प्रतिष्ठा, सदन के उच्च मापदंडों को बनाए रखने के लिए उचित निर्णय भी किए हैं। इस सदन के उच्च मर्यादा और लोकतांत्रिक मूल्य ऐसे मूल सिद्धांत है जिसमें किसी प्रकार का कोई समझौता नहीं किया जा सकता। ऐसे में हमारा दायित्व बनता है कि हम शुद्ध अंतःकरण से, ईमानदारी और कर्तव्यनिष्ठा से इन सिद्धांतों की रक्षा के लिए अपने दायित्वों का निर्वहन करें। हम अपने उच्च आचरण में शुद्धता रखें, शुचिता रखें, अपने व्यवहार को से किसी प्रकार का कोई को कष्ट न हो, हमारे व्यवहार से, हमारे कार्य में कोई संदेह न हो, हमारा आचरण ऐसा न हो जिससे कि लोकतंत्र की उच्च मर्यादा और प्रतिष्ठा को कोई ठेस पहुँचे। इस सदन की विशेषता और उच्च मापदंड को बनाए रखने, उन्हें संवर्धित करना इस सदन के सदस्य रूप में हम सबका सामूहिक और सर्वोच्च दायित्व है। माननीय सदस्यगण, मैं समझता हूँ हम सब यहाँ पर जिस बात पर विचार करने जा रहे हैं वह हम सब के सामूहिकता से विचार कर रहे हैं, सहानुभूतिपूर्वक विचार कर रहे हैं, संवेदना के साथ विचार कर रहे हैं। हमें किसी भी सदन में किसी भी सदस्य को, मेरी कोशिश रहती है न मैं सदन से उसको निलंबित करूं, कभी कोई कार्रवाई करूं। मेरी तो यही कोशिश रहती है कि सभी सदस्यों को पर्याप्त अवसर, पर्याप्त समय मिले। समय समय पर मैंने कोशिश भी की कि सदन की मर्यादा बनी रहे और उस मर्यादा बनाने के लिए कुछ कठोर निर्णय भी करने पड़े तो सदन की मर्यादा के लिए करने पड़े। और इसीलिए आज भी हम जो भी चर्चा कर रहे हैं उसमें मर्यादा, सदन की गरिमा हम सब के लिए सबसे ऊपर है। ऐसी परिस्थिति में हम सबको इस सदन के गौरव, सम्मान, नैतिकता और अस्मिता को अक्षुण्ण रखना हम सबकी सामूहिक जिम्मेदारी है। मुझे आशा है इस विषय पर जब हम चर्चा करें तो सदन की मर्यादा, उच्च कोटि की मर्यादा और पूरे देश में इस सदन के प्रति लोगों का विश्वास, भरोसा बना रहे और व्यक्तिगत रूप से भी जिन लोगों ने हमें चुनकर भेजा है, हम व्यक्तिगत आचरण में भी हमारा व्यवहार ऐसा होना चाहिए कि हम लोकतंत्र की उच्च मर्यादा को कायम रख सकें। मैं नियम 316E2 के विषय पर अधिकतम आधे घंटे की चर्चा की अनुमति देता हूं।
Investigation of the unethical conduct of Shri Mahua Moitra MP laid on the table of the House on 8th December 2023.
एक मिनट सबको। ओके।
We don't have the copy of the motion. We don't have the supplementary distribution.
माननीय सदस्यगण, आज जिस विषय पर विचार किया जा रहा है वो विचार और प्रस्ताव जो माननीय संसदीय कार्य मंत्री ने रखा है वो हम सबके लिए पीड़ादायक भी है, लेकिन कई बार ऐसे अवसर आते हैं जब इस सभा को अपने प्रति, राष्ट्र के प्रति अपने कर्तव्यों के निर्वहन के लिए उचित निर्णय लेने होते हैं। माननीय सदस्यगण, संसदीय लोकतंत्र नियमों
Hello and welcome. You're watching The Right Stand with me, Poonam Burde. Mahua Moitra is no longer a member of the Lok Sabha. She was expelled today after a motion moved by the government was adopted in the parliament. She has been expelled because she was found guilty by the ethics panel for taking gifts and cash in lieu of asking questions in the Lok Sabha. Now in October, that's when it all began. BJP Member of Parliament Nishikant Dubey, based on a complaint by lawyer Jai Anand Dheeraj,